Hey guys, welcome back to this week's video. This is going to be a little bit different than a lot of the videos I've made in the past, but it's probably long overdue because I get a ton of questions on Instagram and YouTube and things like that about the gear I'm running, my camera setup. So I kind of wanted to do a one-stop shop of a gear list for 2025, going all the way from my bow, all the way down to my camera setup and what's in my pack for opening day on a wide variety of hunts, all the way from Montana to Kansas this year. So, like I said, just wanted to run down everything with you. We'll start right here with my bow. This is the first year that I've made the switch to Mathews. This is the Lift X that they came out with this year in the 29.5-inch model. And I've been super impressed with that bow right now. I think I'm shooting probably 295 to 297 feet per second, which is pretty good. I have a 27.5-inch draw and I'm shooting 75 pounds. So having short arms doesn't really help in terms of creating a lot of energy. So you got to try to bump the poundage up in terms to match a lot of the other guys that are a lot taller. But I've been really impressed with that, and I'm really looking forward to taking it out really in less than 25 days. We're going to be in Montana chasing mule deer, and that should be a fun hunt because we have the chance to reach out and maybe take some 60, 70, 80 yard shots. And I could not be more excited. I've been practicing all summer, and I'm just in love with how my bow setup is right now. A little bit different this year. This is all the bridge lock technology that Mathews came out with. So this is a 12-inch front bar with a 10-inch back bar stabilizer. And the best part about it, you just move this set screw right here, you just loosen it up, and you can take this 12-inch front bar stabilizer, slide it into your riser, and you can make it 10, 8, 6, whatever you guys want. Super nice if you're hunting out of a ground blind or anything like that in the whitetail woods, or if you're hunting way out west where you need a lot more stabilization. You know, like I said, you can rip it all the way out to 12 inches, and that way you can take longer shots and feel more comfortable with that. In terms of the sight, this is the UV bridge lock sight. It is a 3-pin vertical sight, and this is the first year that I've shot anything other than a single pin, which is a little bit different, but I like it in different situations where, you know, hey, there's a mule deer bedded at 40 yards, you move your sight, and he gets up, bounds to 55. You can just use that second pin without having to re-range. Obviously, I recommend re-ranging every shot, but some situations just don't call for that, which, you know, who knows what it'll be. But like I said, doing some Western hunts this year, I'm excited to, you know, kind of open things up a little bit in terms of shot distances rather than normal 35 yards and in when we're in the whitetail woods. In terms of my arrow, I've been shooting Day 6 arrows the last probably 3 or 4 years. Brian makes an awesome arrow, and actually this year Remy Warren purchased the company, and so he's taking care of all the day-to-day stuff, and Brian's still making the arrow, which is awesome because he makes a great product. And this is the XD 300 with my 27.5-inch draw and 75 pounds. The 300 spine is perfect. I'm shooting a 100 grain head with, you know, 3 fletch in here, and then I do shoot a lighted knock, but they just haven't come in yet. If you guys didn't know, you can buy lighted knocks on Amazon for $1/4 of the price. So I got 12 lighted knocks for 30 bucks, and most times you go to the store, you can get 3 lighted knocks for 30 bucks. So that turns out to be a really good deal. In terms of arrow weight, this arrow is 446 grains. So I like to be in that 450 grain range. It helps you shoot flat, but also you have enough energy to get the penetration you need to kill elk or mule deer or whatever, some of these bigger Western species. So moving on to the broadhead, what I've been shooting for the last few years and something I've been really impressed with is these Sevr broadheads. This is the Sevr Hybrid 1.75. It's got a little bit of a bleeder blade on it, and it's got a 2.45-inch cutting diameter. I actually shot my mountain lion with this broadhead exactly, and I think the thing died in about 10 seconds. So super impressed. And really the coolest thing about these broadheads is a lot of times they come with these little set screws. And so you can shoot the broadhead that you're going to shoot an animal with at your actual target. You screw this in with a little Torx head or an Allen wrench, the smallest one you can find, and it locks the blades in the ferrule so they don't deploy. You take the rubber band off, and you can shoot at your foam target all day. And obviously, before you go out and hunt, you just take that little set screw back out, put the rubber band back on. Blades are still razor sharp, and just to make sure that everything is flying true, and it has for me 10 times out of 10. So really impressed with those. You can buy these broadheads one by one or in packs, but man, like I said, these are awesome. Well, that's pretty good timing. The UPS guy literally just showed up with my lighted nocks. But like I said, these are the lighted nocks for this. So these arrows have a .204 inside diameter, but they have a bushing that knocks them down to .166. So when you're buying lighted nocks for those arrows, just be a little cautious of that, and don't make the same mistake I did. But going into our camera gear, and this is probably what I get the most amount of questions on, is what camera gear that I'm running. And so I film everything exclusively on this channel with the Sony a7S III. And this is a mirrorless camera that really looks like a picture camera. And I pair that with a 24 to 240 Sony lens. And what I found is that's like the perfect do-all setup for what I need. I'm able to do interviews with it. I'm also able to reach out and film a deer that's 200 yards away. And it's really perfect. I've filmed a lot of different camera setups, from big clunky video camera looking cameras all the way to GoPros, and I've been extremely impressed with the Sony a7S III, and that's what I'm really going to use for the foreseeable future. I film everything exclusively in 4K 120. This gives me the opportunity to slow the footage down up to a fourth of the speed in post-production, and I also shoot everything in 4K, which allows me to crop everything up to 2 times as much while still maintaining really high quality. So a lot of the videos you guys see me produce are produced in 4K 120, which just means 120 frames per second at the highest quality that the camera can do. In terms of mic, which I'm talking into right now, this is the Sennheiser MK400. I've used a lot of different mics. It's kind of hit and miss when you watch hunting videos. Some channels have really good audio and some don't, and so that's what I'm trying to avoid. But the MK400 has really impressed me, and I've really liked it in the field. It has 2 batteries that it can run off by itself, or it can plug in the camera and turn on and off with the camera. In terms of camera arms, Elevate came out with this last year. It comes in 2 pieces, as you can see, and that's why it's my favorite camera arm on the market. Another reason is it comes with this overcam buckle strap, so no more ratchet straps or anything like that when you climb up the tree. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. It's when you walk in on a nice crisp morning in November, you get up to the tree and you have to start cranking on a ratchet strap just to get your film set up. So this makes it super nice. Everything is super lightweight, dead quiet, and it's just hard to beat that setup. Going back onto the cameras here, what I'll use a lot in terms of over-the-shoulder shots or walking in and out is this GoPro Hero 10 with the media mod. If you're gonna run GoPro for anything with audio, you need the media mod on it. Otherwise, the internal audio on a GoPro just is not very good. I love that camera just in terms of, has a little bit of a wider lens, gives a little bit different perspective than the normal Sony camera. A lot of the shots you guys see of me either rattling or grunting or drawing back are all shot on the GoPro, and that shoots in 4K as well, which makes it really nice. If you watch the channel enough, you'll probably also see some drone shots, and what I use is a DJI Air 3S. I've been able to piggyback that off a little bit off my land real estate business. I really think that adds a lot of different visual aspects in terms of showing you guys exactly what I'm talking about, or showing the terrain, or just giving a different perspective to a lot of the videos we make. But that's pretty much all the gear that I use. Like I said, I'm using Elevate in terms of tree stands and things like that. And then I'm not a big optics nerd, but what I do use is Vortex, Fury binoculars, and rangefinders. It's kind of nice to have a one-stop shop. And I have a Vortex spotting scope as well. It's the Diamondback, so kind of their lower line model, but I don't use that a ton just in terms of where we hunt in Iowa. Like I said, this is a little bit of a different video than what I'm used to making, but I do get a lot of questions, and so I'm hoping this had some value to you guys. Leave in the comments what you guys would like to see in terms of content creation for the next few weeks. As I mentioned, we got about 20 days until we're in Montana hunting hopefully big velvet mule deer. And so if you guys have anything you want to see on the farms or anything before then, please let me know. But as always, I appreciate the support. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.